Yo, everybody, Goblin here. I am so excited to bring you guys the new version of machineGun. Here we are in 5.5, finally. Thank you for being so patient with us. Everybody wanted to see more exciting tests. Normally, I just run a single pair for a couple of days, give you guys, kind of what we've changed. But here in this release video, very excited. We're going to do a triple pair shootout with only two properly funded pairs. So let me explain what is going on your screen right now. I understand there's a lot of information. So the two pairs on the right, at the top right, you see USDC Doge. This has $25,000 invested in it. Right below it, you have USDC Sol. This also has $25,000 invested in it. That is the full $50,000 that we talk about. People generally come over from the traditional markets with. I know here in 2026, if you want a margin account activated, my broker is super nice, but they want 30 grand up front that you can't even touch for your trading. And so I know 50 is generally what people are bringing to the table. So I like to conduct these tests with the full 50. And so the 50 is being allocated with the two pairs on the right. The pair on the left, USDCF, this is just leeching $1,000 it does not actually have. And so we talk about this in the community all the time. I'm always telling you guys, you have to have all your pairs properly funded. But people love, kind of sneaking an extra pair on there. And so I thought, hey, for a release video, let's just do that. Let's see how long it takes to fund a third pair that you don't actually have the money for. And so this is going to be a week-long time lapse, 7 days with a free pair setup on a laptop out in the mountains. And I just can't wait to show you guys what happens, because not only has machineGun grown a lot, the Gunbot software has grown tremendously as well. And so there's a bunch of things that are going to occur in this week that we pretty much tell users never to do. And you'll get to see what happens. Examples. We're always telling people to rent servers, make sure that you're hosting your Gunbot in a secure location that's always online, has zero chance of going down thanks to like power hiccups or your kids closing your laptops or the internet going down or needing to reboot your router. Those are pretty much unacceptable conditions in day trading. And so here I am just on a laptop out in the mountains, throwing a cellular connection by a Yagi antenna, and hilariousness is what you guys will get to see, but it's a great test to record, and it allows you guys to see all sorts of new features across the board. So here we are, so far, just a couple hours into trading. You can see profits have been picked up pretty much everywhere. Nice market drops here. You can see waterfall protection just coming in, saving the day. And before we get too far into the technical analysis, I want to walk new users and old users alike. I want to walk everybody through the new user interface we have. And you get to see this 3 times here, twice on the right, once on the left. But the one on the left, the USDCF, is the full screen, which is much easier to walk you guys through. And so starting at the top, you can see the pair, and then you can see your current position, your bag value in USDC. Now that will change to whatever base you're using. We just happen to be using USDC as a base here. And then down from there, you'll see the current version of machineGun you're running, your current profits, and then some basic stats like the number of orders you've done, how much volume you've done, fees, and if you're part of any VIP programs or rebate programs at your exchange, you can even see how much rebate you've earned. Down below that is the overview section. And this is going to tell you what operational mode you're currently in, what capital stage you're in, and what trading phase you're in. Now, these are very complex topics. You can read our technical manual about these. I'm kind of going to glance over them a little bit here in this release video, but these are quite serious features. And this is how we control your investment level. So down below that, you're going to see bag risk. And that's a topic I want to bring up real quick, because in the current version, you'll see that this version is 5.5.3. We're currently on 5.5.5, and you will not see custom 500 anymore. It will, and at this end of the video, I literally upgrade our software mid-recording and you'll see it change. But what you'll see is profile you're running, followed by the step count. So you're getting a little bit of dev magic here with it saying custom 500. And I want to explain the 2 pairs on the right side of your screen are running the new rapid close profile. This is a preset profile. You can just click of a button. It will change machineGun to all the settings required. And this favors instant gratification at your gain settings over any sort of hodling. You're never going to hold a position in rapid close. That's why it's called rapid close. Now, the pair on the left, USDCF, the one that's not properly funded, it's running the new rapid return profile. And what does that do? That's the exact opposite. It actually favors holding, or hodling for the traders out there, over instant gratification. It wants to get the best possible return instead of a instant return. And so the two pairs on the right are running rapid close and then feeding the profits into the pair on the left that's running rapid return. And we'll go through all the results at the end of the read. But moving on, instead of it saying, bag risk custom 500, it will let you know what profile you're in. The current trading limit is right next to that. And you can see how that changes constantly because machineGun has over 20 different trading limits at any given time it is able to select. And it's picking these based on its current evaluation of the market. What the technical analysis is telling it, it's changing the trading limit to respect that. So next to the trading limit is the risk tuning value. And risk tuning is best explained to people as a good deal, bad deal indicator. That's the simplest way of explaining it. In the historical review of the asset, is the current price too much? But over the last 8 hours, are we talking that's just too expensive? Well, we don't want to spend that much money on it, but we still want to get into this market. A great example of explaining this would be, oh, snap. But you guys saw that there, didn't you? That is my poor laptops just running out of memory, doesn't have anything left. This is not the underlying software crashing. This is not Gunbot crashing. This is not machineGun crashing. This is me trying to record 3 bots on an old laptop and just running out of memory. So believe it or not, that is still trading in the background. But for the time being, you guys get to see just a little ghost action there on the Goblin and our new website. Yeah, I'll talk about that in the future. That's where the full new technical manual is, the wiki, all of that. But while that's just, waiting for somebody to come by and click the reload button, we can see the pairs on the right are continuing to trade. Let's say things are really popping off and we're in a bull market. Well, we want to buy on the way up. But most of the time, if an asset is overpriced, it's just that, it's overpriced. So risk tuning is coming in and saying, I want to spend about 1/10 of what I'm normally going to spend. And so you can see the trading limit, and then you can see the trading limit get tuned by the current risk of the asset. And so if there's a good deal going on and we want to get into an asset, historically, it's, this is the time to buy, then we're going to just put in a normal order. This is a multiplier. And so a risk tuning value of 1 just means that's a normal order. You could go in there and change that to 2, and it would buy twice as much if it thought it was a good deal. The way the rapid profiles are set up here is that if it's overvalued, we really don't want to get into it by 1/10. And if it's undervalued, we just place a traditional order. And the reason we're using those is that these are preset configurations pretty much for instantaneous success. And because a lot of them are the lower step count varieties to help people that don't have the ability to run 3,000 steps get into trading, we want to be very, very cautious with your investment. And so only buying 1/10 when something is overpriced, that's pretty spot on, but this is a trade-off. And so in a lot of videos I recorded, there was great bull runs in the middle, and you just don't make that much money in a bull because you're not willing to spend money. You're basically spending 1/10 of what you'd normally spend. And so if you're in a market that is running really hard, or you believe in it and you think that it's just got nothing but places to go on the way up, you can go in and change your risk tuning value to buy the full amount when it's overvalued. Hell, you could buy twice the amount if it's overvalued if you really believe in it. That is not how these profiles are set. So I wanted to explain why you guys are seeing that variable change and what that variable means. And so moving on in the row below that, you see climb, skim buy, and skim sell. These are pretty self-explanatory. If you see these lit up with green, that means they're activated. So climb means the markets are climbing. What does that do to the underlying software? Well, that increases the amount of gain that we're asking of the position before it can exit. We don't ask a lot because if you modify this to say, I want 2% more anytime, the markets are running, you're probably just not going to see that 2% run all the time. And so climb is going to end up hindering you instead of helping you. We basically just ask a little bit more if climb is activated so that we return a bit more because the markets are running. Skim buy and skim sell, these are new features that essentially throw out long-term technical analysis or change the long-term technical analysis to respect different points. And so that when we see markets tighten and they're not really moving quite as much, we ask less of them and we start hyper skimming, like just trading mass amounts inside the small sub percentage game because we've detected that there is nothing more to profit from in that time. And so moving below that, you'll see the core override section. This is the most basic logic of machine gun. These are the only things you really need to know. Is buy enabled? Is sell enabled? They can both be turned on at the same time. They can both be disabled at the same time. And then right next to that, forever bags. What does forever bags do? Forever bags means that we're favoring holding a position while hunting statistical peaks instead of getting rid of it immediately or dumping the entire hand immediately. This favors partialing out an exit into many smaller parcels so that you can continue to let the market mature as you exit your hand. This allows us to continue to grab more and more profit as markets run. So if you look at core overrides, you can pretty much see what your bot's doing. Is it interested in buying? Is it interested in selling? And is it trying to dump its entire hand, or is it trying to partial things out at statistical peaks? Right below that is the buy conditions and the sell conditions charts. Now, these are the full logic chains. These need to be completely greenlit or disabled before buy enabled or sell enabled can turn on. The core overrides right above it. And so these can be green, green's good, green's go. These can, as you can see, have the red circle with the line going through it saying no. This is your classic stop sign, depending on what country you live in. You can see the words off, where this technical analysis has been completely disabled. And then you can also see when they turn blue. Blue means that anti-lag, a feature we have, has been enabled. And that means that there is another form of technical analysis that's being ran that is checking the current technical analysis and returning different results. And it's returning different results to the point that we actually disable the first technical analysis. It's TA on your TA to make sure that one form of technical analysis isn't holding everything up because it's returning an inappropriate result for overall markets. So they can basically just be green, red, blue, or off. I know that's a lot of colors to take in, but it's pretty simple. Green and red is generally all you'll need to worry about. What are all of these things? So these are the technical analysis forms that we use inside Machine Gun. The first three you'll see like SMIIO, CMO, and AC. These are the gray bars underneath the chart screen. And you'll see these just scrolling along, going up and down, oscillating. Those are your short-term technical analysis. Very easy to understand. Is it gray? Short-term. Right below that, you'll see the blue and orange. The blue and orange are the next four right below those. Those are your SMIEI, your MACDs, your KBOs, and your AOs. These are long-term technical analysis. This is treated differently. The points at which you're following are even changed depending on things like if you're in skim buy or skim sell, but you can see them on your charts and you can actually learn how to read these. So you can look, there's 7 forms of technical analysis getting charted live right there. And if you don't want to learn how to read these charts, you don't want these charts on your screen, no big deal. You can just pull out the right side menu on the chart screen, look at our custom UI here and say, hey, is buy enabled, is sell enabled? That's really all you need to know. But if you'd like to know more, you just go down to the buy conditions or the sell conditions, and you can see exactly what is holding up the show. So, most of the time for buy conditions, you can have a fully green lit chain, but, waterfall protection detects that the markets are dropping. It's a short-term drop detection system. So it will detect this. It's protecting you right then because it doesn't want you spending money if the markets are dropping. So you might even have like a full green lit chain, but waterfall just will not let you buy. Guys, that is not a bug. That is not a problem. That is waterfall doing its job. And so if you're wondering why you're not buying, just give a look at the conditions. And the exact same for making exits. If you're wondering why you just can't make an exit or you're not making the sells that you think you should be making, guys, just open this up, scroll down to your sell conditions. You can even mouse over these and it will give you the exact reason that condition is not, being respected to what you think. So like SMIO, we do 0.1 on both sides, the positive and the negative. So maybe it's, in between point one. It's just not getting triggered. And so if you would like to make that trigger sooner or trigger later, you can go in and change those. And so down below that is the indicators section. And what's there? That is all the actual mathematics from the technical analysis that we run. We do it all in house. We don't, go out to another website and ask them to do the math for us. Here's all the results. And so if you ever wanted to know exactly the calculation, you can just scroll down to the indicators section and see it. There's also brand new indicators there for market depression detection and recovery detection, because we use a lot of predictive mathematics, the T-2 system found in William Bale's stuff. Easier explained to people with simple, is the market recovering or is the market depressing checks. If you scroll down to the indicators, we've just got a simple green light, red light system there. And so you don't need to run in math. You don't need to look at the charts. You can just scroll down there and be like, oh yeah, look at that. The markets are recovering there. Oh yeah, the markets are depressing. And that will explain a lot of other settings. If you're truly somebody who likes to tweak machineGun, that is a major feature to understand. And so now we've given you a visual indicator, so it's just easier for you to understand. That's pretty much the breakdown of our new right side custom menu. Right below that, we even timestamp it so you guys can see the last time all that information was updated, because the charts do not update the right side menu. These are two different scripts getting ran in the background. And so they have different update points. So we wanted to make sure you had a little clock there so you could make sure that your right side menu is actually getting updated and that script is running efficiently. These charts are amazing. I love showcasing this to you guys here with these new versions. I was really trying to find different ways to pull these pairs around my screen and record it, so it'd be very interesting for you guys to watch. This was the best setup I could find because it shows the full custom menu on the left, and then it gives you guys kind of the longer term analysis on the right. If you zoomed into the charts on the right, they would look like the chart on the left. You're just happening to get a different zoom amount. And you can see, because we trade a lot around the concept of the sub percentage, instead of having asset values, I have percentage values on the right side. And so you can watch the markets fluctuate. This is something I really want to talk to you guys about, because a lot of newcomers just don't perceive how big of a difference the exchange fee system has. Maybe they're stuck at trading on a exchange instead of shopping around exchanges. These videos that you're watching are set on the standard from Binance, and their fees are 0.1. That means that when you buy, you're picking up 0.1, and when you sell, you're picking up 0.1 that you have to pay the house. Example, if you wanted 0.5% of profit, you'd still have to pay that 0.2 on top of that. So before you could make a purchase and then sell that purchase at 0.5% profit, the markets would need to move 0.7. And that would just be right there on the nose with needle accuracy. It never works that way. You're going to have, order trailing and such. So if you just signed up for an account at an exchange like Coinbase, because you have an introductory fee, that means that they might be charging you up to, if not more than, a percentage on each part of the trade. And so if you bought it and you paid a percent in fees, and then to sell it, you are paying a percent in fees, and you still want that 0.5% of profit, that means the markets are going to have to move 2.5% at a minimum for you to make any money. And so that's why people generally come in and they want to know, why isn't my bot selling? Why isn't my bot selling? It looks like it could be making money. I'm really confused. Generally, it's because your exchange fees are tremendously higher than the industry's average, or you have them misconfigured. And so you could go from, over at Binance, being able to make that same profit if the market swung by 0.7, to Coinbase, where you'd need the markets to swing by 2.5. And given we are like masters of the sub percentage, machineGun is doing all sorts of trading humans would never do. You completely eliminate the ability for us to trade inside the sub percentage if you're paying over a percentage in fees. It's not that machineGun won't handle this. It does a beautiful job handling this. It will completely buy and sell and trade like it should, just with, the concept of paying your high fees out. But if you're watching these videos and you're wondering how all this money is getting made and why these trades in the sub percentage just aren't happening when you're running the software, Guaranteed check your fees, guys. Because if you can't trade in the sub percentage, then you just can't trade in the sub percentage. How do you get around this? Trade at a better place. Literally move your trading to an exchange that respects you a little bit more, gives you a fairer fee. And then here's a classic why you guys don't trade at home moment. My power went out. Yes, I understand. I'm in a cabin in remote mountains. And yeah, 24 hours of downtime. Once again, guys, this is why you do not trade on your home connections. But as you can see, whole day down, power comes back up. I fired the bots back up and it immediately started handling its previous positions and just started trading again. All right. Now, I actually wanted to talk to you guys about some of the new features that made it all the way into 5.5 here. And what is this channel protection? It's came in and replaced the old stuff. This essentially allows you to place orders within dynamic channels. They change width or depth, depending on what country you're in, is the word you're looking for there, depending on market conditions, meaning it compares your previous orders and then looks at the order you're currently trying to make and decides if that order belongs in channel or not. And if it doesn't, it does not let that order occur. And so this actually allows us to fix a lot of the quote unquote spray and pray of firing the machine gun. This allows accuracy because if an order is not going to fit or will not happen, then the markets will then oscillate back into channel and you'll start using your money again. This is fantastic because it eliminates out of place orders. It helps us draw down unit costs at all time record speed. You can actually restrict this down to where you basically can just have like a line getting drawn on the screen with your green arrows. Although I don't really, that's overly restricted. You still want to be able to buy through the entire dip. And then as you can see, we have the swing trade mechanism, very popular in this version. And the channel protection works with the swing trades. And so here you get to see when it's buying the bottom of a dip and then starting to buy as the markets recover upwards through the dip. That is the channel widening to allow the purchasing. When on the way down, it would be restricting the channel. Now, these are fully dynamic. You don't need to change any of these settings. But if you're wondering how we got the order accuracy compared to previous versions, well, that is the new channel protection. And that is what is replacing the previous BBLS, BBLB systems and why they're gone. Another cool thing, like pretty much my favorite part of this, is not just the channeling. It's the new technical analysis. In the previous versions, guys, we only had 2 technical analysis systems on the short term, and now we have a third. And that allows us to now have consensus modeling on our short-term analysis, meaning that instead of having everything has to line up, you can have a 2 out of 3 system where they can vote. And this is very handy. I do not use this in the presets for every opportunity, meaning, for instance, the buy chain on the short term still needs complete validation. All 3 technical analysis sources need to agree. But when exiting the position, they use the 2/3 consensus model, meaning that they will go ahead and start exiting as long as 2 of them are pleased, because the third one might be holding up the show. Now, another one that we went with is AO. This is an expansion of the long-term technical analysis. And if you guys are wondering, these are the accelerator and awesome oscillators. That's a mouthful. And so the AO is a long-term technical analysis expansion, which means the majority rule consensus band from 2/3 to 3/4 on the long term. And I use this everywhere. Once again, just making smarter decisions here. And that brings our technical analysis, as you can see at the bottom, into a majority rule 7 system. I don't know why 7 system is so hard for me to say today, but it sure is. And so at the bottom, with the long-term technical analysis, we actually change, thanks to the skim buy and skim sell system, what line we're following, what point we're following. If you're not super deep into trading, you can just think of it at the bottom as the blue and orange lines. Sometimes we're following the orange, sometimes we're following the blue. Short term is always following the gray. Also, funny point, if you ever see my my charts stop moving, or you see your charts stop moving like this, that is because your internet's down. You've lost connection to your exchange. You can see I'm now in version 5.5.4 instead of 5.5.3. And as promised, you can see it says rapid C or it'll say rapid R and the number of steps you're running. So the two bots on the right no longer say custom 250, they say rapid C 250, running our brand new rapid close profile, and the bot on the left running the rapid returns profile for the 500. And I love showing you guys three different markets at once, mainly because a lot of people say that, cryptocurrencies follow Bitcoin and a lot of them trade pretty much similar. Well, here you go. These are top 10 pairs, and you can watch exactly where the scripts are buying and selling at the exact same times. Yes, the markets do tend to follow each other, but they're not identical. And I really love that you can get a better zoom on the charts on the left and see just the depth of when it buys and sells versus kind of the reduced ability to see the charts with the right two pairs because they're stretched out farther. Although I do like how it gives you a little bit of a longer time. So once again, I'm kind of spent some time thinking about how to best show you guys a three pair shootout. And I'm really impressed by the results too. We're going to whiteboard this up here at the end, but for having reached a third pair here where it didn't have accurate proper funding, we're getting very close to it just being paid off, which I just think is fantastic because it appears to take about a week to make that back. And we'll see what what the results are in the end. Also, guys, just if you're looking for the manual, brand new technical manual, brand new wiki, brand new FAQ system, brand new ways to contact us. We have a brand new website. Let me give you guys the address. That's machineguntrading.com. Are you looking for detailed information about this? machineguntrading.com. I can tell you this 1,000 times. No, this is not where you buy and sell machine guns. This is where you get the machine gun trading algorithm. Very funny with the SEO there, but you can get a 100+ page technical manual. You can get full explanations with examples for all 300 settings found inside Machine Gun. You can get walked through how to set up Gunbot. I have made step-by-step picture guides to help with the language barrier. So, feel free to reach out to us, but if you don't speak English or German, no problem. We will literally step-by-step picture guide you to success and get you up and trading today. Instead of having all this information spread out across the internet, we wanted to just have it in a centralized location so that you can find everything related to us and the progress we're making in the current versions, even reaching out to us at our brand new website. I've over the years pretty much built an entire library of content in that Telegram channel, but I can't expect people to search and scroll through years of walls of text. That's not reasonable. So I've went through myself and taken all the walls of text, the little nuggets of gold from Telegram there, and put them on the website. And I will continue to build that out over time. All right, so it looks like our first pair here has completely emptied its hand, and it's been a week here. It's been a full 7 days. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the dashboard so you guys can see what the results are. Here we go. Let's full screen this. It looks like today we've made a whole 1353. Yesterday we made 137.46, which means for this entire week of trading, we've made 483.72. Guys, that is just in trading profit. That does not include the trade fee rebates. Here I am clicking around. You can see how each day went, how the progress of the days went. Trying to give you guys some more information here. Scroll down day by day, pause the screen if you would like more. But I wanted to show you guys as the hands cash out completely at profit, no bag held. How did that go? And show you guys our stats because we show the rebate number. And so we paid 205 in fees on that, but then got a hefty rebate. So it's a pretty good payday. All right, so this pair did better than our other one, but only slightly. You can see it's just a pair variation. This one made 567 for the week, made 35.99 today, 170.175 yesterday, but for the whole week it made 567.02. And then that does not count the trade fee rebates. Had a one fuck up trade of 2 cents, almost 3 cents there with a hero trade of 39.77. And so you can see right here, $59 in trade fee rebate. Let's go ahead and get the last one as we closed out our final hand. This was the pair that we ghost leached. We didn't have the $1,000 to properly fund it. How did it do? It absolutely killed it as well. Look at that $1.22 in the last day, $6 yesterday, which gives us a total performance over the week of 1933. You get a little bit of rebate on there, and you've made some pretty considerable money. 0 fuck ups with a hero trade of $1.13. I love that $1.13 trade. Right there, you see we paid 746 in fees. So let's bust this down, guys. Let's look at the whiteboard results. USDC to Doge, rapid close with 250 steps, $25,000 investment. It made 483 in trade, 51 in rebate, totaling at 535 for the week. Guys, that is 2.14% ROI. Are you kidding me? You made a return, no bag hold at all, of 2.14% on that pair. You did 876 buys, 528 sells, 1,400 orders in a week. This pair did 205,000 volume, which means the entire bag was utilized 8.22 times, which means on average about 1.17 times a day, you were flipping the full $25,000 investment. So when people ask me, do I need to have the pair properly funded? Will machineGun use that money? Absolutely, it would. Look at this. It literally flipped it over 8 times in that week. So let's go to that second pair. Same thing, rapid close 250. It had the same $25,000 investment, and you can compare it right next to it. It actually did better. It made 567 in trades, brought back 59 in a rebate, which means it totaled 626 for the week. Guys, that is 2.5% returns on your investment. Give me anything else that needs you 2.5% in a week with no bag. You have it all back home, and it's in your control, not at a firm's or any place outside of your control. That second pair did 1,036 buys, 595 sells, totaling 1,631 orders. It did 238,000 in volume, which means it used that $25,000 investment 9.54 times. It flipped that $25,000 1.36 times a day. How crazy is that? Give me another day trader that does that. Give me another human that does that. Final ghost pair, rapid return 500 or USDCF pair, $1,000 borrowed, not even properly funded. It picked up 1923 in trades, got that $1.86 in rebate, which means in total it brought home 2109. Guys, it kept up with the other pairs. It made you 2.11 ROI. Are you kidding me? You brought home 2.11% investment on a ghost pair that you couldn't even properly afford. And then within 7 days, paid for itself. Guys, you properly funded a pair you couldn't afford in a week. That's crazy. So think about this. It had $1,000 to work with. Compare it to the previous. It made more buys. It made 1,300 buys on its own. It did 357 sells. It made significantly more buys, but less sells because it was running rapid return and it wanted to wait for markets to mature. It did 1,665 orders. So even with $1,000, it did more orders than the previous two pairs. Had volume of 7,500, which means it flipped itself 7.4 times or 1.06 times a day, meaning your total results for this week of trading on $50,000, you brought in 1,069 in trade. You brought back 112 in rebate, meaning your total amount of money in your account went up 1,182.82. Guys, that is 2.37% of your investment. You made 2.37% returns in a week, no bag. You made through that week 3,220 buys, 1,480 sells, meaning you had exactly 4,700 orders. If you're coming over from the traditional markets, you're a day trader. Do you make 4,700 orders in a week? I don't think you do. And I did this while I was sleeping. I didn't even have to sit here and make these trades by hand. That's the power of machineGun. That's the power of an algorithm running for you. This in 1 week time ran $451,000 in volume. Everybody's going to love you. You're a little liquidity fairy no matter where you go, because in a month, you're going to be pushing multi-millions, both directions. That means that your $50,000 investment over this week went through 9.03 utilizations, which means you flipped that $50,000 1.29 times a day. That's pretty good trading, guys. That's pretty good trading for a triple pair shootout in a week where I was on my home internet. It kept losing connection. My power went out for a day. And at the end of that week, yeah, we still picked up $1,200. That's sweet returns, sweet returns. But let's talk about testing fallacies though, because you have to understand why this test is not going to deliver the exact same results for every single person. So the first thing I want to talk about is that 3 simulator instances is not the same thing as having an exchange balance, because sure, balances matter. Capital stage and trading phase system will auto correct. It will automatically do all the work if you take funds out or you put funds into your account, but it's just not the same thing as a simulator. When you look at your exchange balance with $50,000, it's going to say $50,000. And then you have 2 pairs taking $25,000 each. That means that they're going to see the ghost pair taking the $1,000, that's 2%, that it doesn't have. And it's going to have to automatically correct the trading phase and capital stage systems to reflect that missing money. Now, with a 2% difference, you probably are not going to notice it. And this test is amazingly accurate for that. Then let's talk about the next one. Simulator order acceptance is perfect. There's no travel time to your exchange, and there's no reasons for the exchange to reject your order in a simulator. It's just going to say, I want to put an order there, and that order appears valid, and it's going to smack an order there. So that's not the same thing, because in real trading, you're all going to have to reach out to an exchange. And at times, exchange just do funny things like reject everybody's orders because they're having problems on their side. Let's talk about the next one. Exchange fees are not universal. We already talked about this in this video. All videos we shoot are set and recorded at the Binance standard of 0.1. Can you get better trading fees at Coinbase? Sure. Will you get those trading fees starting out? Absolutely not. Just pay attention to your trading fee, where you trade, how much it costs you to trade. And then moving on, number 4, liquidity is exchange and pair dependent. If you look at our videos and you look at where all the people in our channels are trading, they're generally trading on major exchanges with top 10 pairs. Because if you want to sell something, you still need somebody to buy it from you. And if you're out there trading altcoins on really rare exchanges or DeFi locations, you can have the best price ever. If there's nobody wanting to buy that from you, you can't trade it. And so make sure you're trading pairs that actually have people who want to trade. We always recommend people kind of just start with the top 10 unless you deeply believe in a project. I cannot tell you what to buy and sell and trade. I'm not here to tell you what market to get into or what pair to pick, but for liquidity purposes, you might consider sticking within the top 10 just so that you can always make a sell when you want to make a sell. And then moving on, current performance is not indicative of future performance. These are the exact days and times and minutes of these trades occurring. You can go back and back test the same week. You'll get the same exact results. What your markets are going to do in the future, I have no idea. That's why we use algorithms to trade, because they're smarter than humans. They're reviewing more information than we could ever review. But I don't want you to watch this video and then immediately just think you're going to get 2% every week and it's never going to change. That's not how trading works. I want you to go into this with realistic expectations, and that these 5 points I'm giving you right here, these testing fallacies, these are huge. Make sure you understand implications of how to use simulator and what simulator means compared to real life markets. But outside of that, guys, this is machineGun version 5.5. I'm so happy you guys will all be able to load it up. Once again, highly recommend everybody get on those rapid profiles, rapid close, rapid return. If you're already a successful trader, you already know how many steps you want to stretch your investment out in. Just click the any steps version, put in your steps, and it will convert perfectly. If you're running 3,000 steps, you can run rapid close with 3,000 steps. Boom, done. If you're an introductory trader, you don't have the funds for 3,000 steps, pick one of our preset profiles and you're off to the races. You don't need any more knowledge than that. You can start learning and reading the manual while you're watching it trade successfully. But thank you for coming along for this journey with me, guys. I know this has been a longer video. I love making these wall of text for you guys. I hope it's been an exciting recording, and I'll see you in Telegram. Cheers.